So welcome back, guys, and thanks for stopping by. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the importance of having a hobby. Now, it's been, I don't know, almost over 4 months since I last uploaded a video to YouTube, and that has driven me crazy because it is one of the things that I consider a hobby. It's something that's very fun to me. I really enjoy putting time into making videos, flying drones, doing all that kind of stuff. And I just have not been able to do it, and mainly it's due to, things during the day at work have just been so crazy. I'm always busy at work. It seems like I've been doing a lot more work travel at the same time. I've got family commitments on the side. I've got the commitments on the weekends that I need to do. And so all that just kind of tied together just gets you into this overwhelming state that you just don't have time to put into being creative and putting out a video. And I really want to get back to that because that is one of the things that I enjoy, more than anything. And I think that's the importance of having a hobby. So today I want to help you guys come up with some tips if you're having the same issues to get back to those things that you really enjoy doing. So what is it that I find so enjoyable about my hobby? For me, the things that I find enjoyable about a hobby or things that I've been drawn to in the past are, it's something where I'm learning a lot. It's something that is enjoyable. The third thing is it's something that helps me be present, or it requires me to be present in the moment. And you always talk about people practicing mindfulness, through yoga and that kind of thing. And I've tried to do that in the past, and it's okay, but it's just, to me, it's not the same because it doesn't have the same intensity to it. So I'll give you a couple examples. In terms of flying a drone, it requires you to be very mindful of everything around you. And so you basically tune out all the distractions from work, from family, cell phone ringing, email notifications, all that kind of stuff, because you have a drone in the air, and so that requires your utmost attention. Same thing with woodworking. And that requires you to be very focused on what you're doing because you've got a spinning blade going and you don't want to mess that up, and you want to get a precise cut. You don't want to have to do it over again. And so that's like another thing where I can learn a lot about the hobby. I have fun doing it, and it just requires you to have that extreme focus so that you're safe at the same time. Okay, so now that I know what it is I like about my hobbies, how do I get back to doing the hobbies that I enjoy the most? Making videos, flying drones, cycling, woodworking. Those are 4 things that I'm really very passionate about. How do I get back to doing that again? Okay, so let's deconstruct this down a little bit further. And this is the part where you're really going to have to be honest with yourself. Does my work during the day really prevent me from doing my hobby, if I'm being honest with myself? So if I look back over the last 2 years, and I think about all the flights that I've had with my drone, all the time I've gone cycling, all the time that I've spent woodworking, things like that, I would say 90% of the flights that I've had with my drone are between 6 a.m. and 7:30 in the morning, maybe up to 8 o'clock in the morning, but definitely in that first 2 hours. So, if work for me starts around 8 o'clock, it doesn't really hold a lot of weight that I don't have time in the morning, because that's where I do all my flights. That's where I do all my editing for the video. That's where I put the ideas together on paper. So that may or may not, unless I'm just too tired. So I don't know if that really works, right? So you got to be honest with yourself. Same thing with cycling. It's usually between 6 and 8 p.m. at night, or it's on the weekends. Same thing with woodworking. Woodworking is also a weekend activity for me, maybe some evenings. So it's something else. It's not that in my case, it's not that I don't have time, it's something else. And it could be that the stress from the day activities, bleeds over so that you don't feel like doing those other activities. But those are the activities that you love doing. So how do you get back to having time or having the energy to do those activities? So what's different? Now for me, I think the difference is quite simple if I'm really being honest with myself and I think about each one of these in detail, and that is I have no specific purpose or goal. When I've been successful in the past, it's always been because I've had a specific goal in mind. If I write something down on paper, if I sign up for an event, I mean, you can be 100% certain that I'm going to accomplish that, like whatever it takes. That's just the way my mentality is. And so with uploading videos, if I don't have a set list of things that I want to do or things that I want to learn about video editing, for example, or if there's nothing new about the drone that I want to focus on, for me just to think that I'm going to go create a video randomly without having an idea ahead of time, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to be motivating to me. Same thing with cycling, and it's always been that carrot of, race day is 8 months away, so I need to do steps A, B, and C here now to get in shape for that so that I have a successful race day. Same thing with woodworking. You're not just going to randomly go out in your garage and start cutting wood and then create something really special. It's going to be one of those things that always kind of gets pushed to the back because you've got other things that you could be doing, and so you never actually do that thing that you really enjoy. So for me, I think I'm getting close to it. It's not, being busy is part of it, but that's kind of really an excuse. And I think a lot of you will find the same thing if you're honest with yourself. You have a tendency to hide around the fact that you're busy, but that might not be the real issue. It might be that you don't have a clear defined goal of what you want to accomplish. So what are the next steps towards getting back your free time so that you can put that into the enjoyment of your hobby? Number one is to create habits that allow your hobby to be successful. Number two is to break it down into small steps. And then lastly, you just have to have a target goal that you can work towards. It's so much easier if you have something that motivates you that is off in the distance. You have the steps defined of how to reach that goal, and then you just create the habits to do those steps every single day, and then the rest becomes so much easier. Okay, so I've got 3 goals that I want to share with you guys so that I can have a little bit of skin in the game, and so hopefully you guys will be motivated to do the same thing. So first up is with creating videos. I want to be able to create 1 video per week where I take the time to learn a new editing technique and put that into the video so that I am always learning at the same time, and it helps keep me motivated as well. I want to do that every single week so that I don't get stale and go a month or 2 without uploading. I think that's very important, is the frequency, because then I can break that down into smaller steps and do little things every single day so that at the end of the week I have 1 video to upload and it's got something new in it that I learned as well. Second is with cycling. I want to get back in shape for cycling so that at the end of this year, perhaps in the fall or winter, I have an event that I can go out and enjoy with some of the folks that I go cycling with in the past. The carrot on this one is I need to sign up for an event. It should be like a charity event or some kind of competition. So I'm going to sign up for an event now so that I have something that motivates me, a specific event in mind, instead of just saying I want to ride in October or November. And lastly is finish a woodworking course that I started probably about a year ago now. I really enjoyed that, but then I got, as I started getting busy or making excuses, I started to push those projects off to the side, and I kept telling myself, well, I'll come back to doing those projects, when time permits, when I get this other stuff off my plate, I'll come back to doing the woodworking, and it never happens. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that by fall, and I'm going to get back into doing a little bit each week towards finishing each one of those projects, and there's probably 4 or 5 projects that remain. So what do you guys think? Do you have a hobby that you just never have time to focus on? Is it lack of time, or is it lack of focus? And what strategies do you guys use to overcome that so that you can stay on track and pursue the things that you find most enjoyable in life? I mean, that's what it's all about, right? So if you have anything new, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them, and I'm sure everybody else watching this would love to hear that as well. There's lots of different ways to solve this problem. These are just the ways that have worked for me in the past, so that I'm going to use those going forward. But I would love to hear any kind of new ideas or new strategies that you guys use so that others can be helped as well. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video next week.